You are now tuned into a brand new episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K Sapp. What a day, man. Shedeur Sanders capped off the 2025 season against the Cincinnati Bengals with a victory, and he led his team to a comeback in the last 2 minutes where he set up his kicker, Andre Smith, for redemption to hit the walk-off game-winning field goal. And Shedeur Sanders in the 2-minute drive was legendary, where he put together a drive that went 10 plays for 64 yards, and he got the victory. And now the haters are in shambles. But we got to talk about it right after this.
Let me put you on game. These other podcasts out here talking that shit, but ain't repping the same. It's my bro K-Sapp, chopping up topics for your optics. From politics to your top picks. Tune in, you gotta watch this. Exclusive material for your radio stereo, pumping high definition. Stop what you doing and listen. We smashing all competition. You better jump on this wave. Somebody pass me a mic, man. I got something to say.
Yeah, guys, man. Well, Shedeur Sanders today was legendary in the last 2-minute drive, and now he has shut all the haters up and all the narratives about Shedeur Sanders' play, and he has proved once again that he is the man for the Cleveland Browns quarterback position. Now, I will tell you this, guys. Shedeur Sanders did more with less. Do you realize Shedeur Sanders playing with the Cleveland Browns, he started 7 games. He went 3-7 in them games with backup players, 3rd and 4th stringers, people that was called up from the practice squad, a couple players that's been cut several times, and now they back on the roster. Do you realize Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel in 10 games went 2-10 with all starters? And Shedeur Sanders beat rivals such as the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals, outplayed some of the top quarterbacks in the NFL, such as Aaron Rodgers. He outplayed Buffalo Bills' Josh Allen. He went toe-to-toe with Brock Purdy. Also, he outplayed the number 1 pick in the 2025 draft for the Tennessee Titans, Cam Ward. Now, Shedeur Sanders capped off this season going 3-7 in his starts, and he put together some good things, and then also you saw some not so good things. A lot of people got on him about the turnovers, the interceptions, and stuff like that. But you got to understand, as a rookie quarterback, you got to look at Peyton Manning. He threw 26 interceptions, his rookie year. So you got to understand something. Shedeur Sanders is the guy for the Cleveland Browns. Also, Shedeur Sanders did a lot of great things. And today, in that win over the Cincinnati Bengals, going toe-to-toe with Joe Burrow, and also Joe Burrow got arguably 1 or 2 top duo receivers in the league in Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And who was Shedeur Sanders throwing to? And he pulled off the victory in Cincinnati against Joe Burrow with less. And Shedeur Sanders proved once again that he's clutch when it comes down to the 2-minute drive and the 2-minute drill, and he got the team a victory, so they go out on a high note. And Shedeur Sanders, after the game, he wanted to talk about the 2-minute drive that he put himself into. So let's take a listen to what Shedeur Sanders had to say.
How's everybody doing? Well,
just describe that, your feelings, the emotions, everything that goes through you as you're kind of leading that drive down for that kick.
I'll say it's a lot. I'll say all week I would say I've been like dealing with a lot spiritually, like different battles, that I had to overcome, I just had to overcome. So that's why my body language, everything was off. Like that's what it was. And we got in at halftime, we got in the locker room, and like close teammates, close friends was like, nah, bro, get back to being you. So it was that words of encouragement. It was that shoulder to lean on that you need in them crucial moments. So then, as you see, right back after halftime, then we start getting our rhythm. We start being nice. So I think today overall mentally we won different battles. I think we won mentally. I think going back to the final minute drive that we had a couple weeks ago, and it wasn't successful. We was able to get that opportunity and be able to drive down the field and do what we did. Andre being able to get back in that position how he was. You know, I knew the whole time he was going to be able to make it. So I think there was a bunch of different battles, you know, overall that we won today, and it started up here, started mentally.
Sure.
I know you knew how much Miles Garrett wanted to get that record in a victory.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to just wanting to win it for the whole entire team, did you also, how important was it for you to, on his big day and his big moment, go down there and do everything you could get in that victory?
Yeah, I think all of our goals and everything is aligned, so I don't think it's a much more want to than that. I think the want to is to prove that I'm able to drive down the field, and that a bad half, you know, doesn't define a character like kind of how it was the other week. We had the same opportunity. So I think each week by week, it was building different things and accomplishing different things and being able to prove to myself, but not just myself, but the team and everybody, that in certain situations I learn from, I grow from, and I was just excited to be put in that situation again. That I kind of put myself in that situation.
What couple of on the last drive? What did you see on those couple of big throws? Whatever outer comeback to Isaiah, and then
yeah, I think it was just clicking. You know, I think it was just clicking. I think we got back. I think we got back a lot to what we been doing, honestly, and I think being able to go through the keys and reads, like those are the stuff that I know like the back of my hand. So that's where reps and that's where all that different type of stuff come into play, to where you're able to execute each and every play, no matter what defense, you know, they're able to put out there. So I think we got back to being who we are, you know, and not really going at them like a certain way, which that was good, but sometimes it just didn't fit my eye, and I wasn't able to get through my reads quick enough or play like really fast and on time.
Now, you heard what Shedeur Sanders had to say, man, and I will say this, man. Kudos to Shedeur Sanders, man, for handling everything and all the adversity he's been through, and for him to come out on top the way he did. He also alluded to some of the situations with the reps and things like that, because it's key that you got to have them reps so you can be clicking. And also for all the haters that wanted him to fail, Shedeur didn't fail. And that's why I said the haters are in shambles, because they wanted to see Shedeur Sanders fail. And a lot of people will have this notion of saying that, you know, the defense won the game for the Cleveland Browns. The defense played well. The defense had 2 defensive touchdowns, but the defense also gave up the game go-ahead score with Jamar Chase in that last 2 minutes that Joe Burrows had the ball as well, and they took the lead on Cleveland 18-17. But then what happened? Shedeur Sanders got a chance to prove himself that he is legendary, that it is perfect timing, that he could lead a 2-minute offense down the field and put that team in position to win, and that's what Shedeur Sanders did. And a lot of people will not give Shedeur Sanders kudos for today's game, because he put the team in position to win the ball game at the end, where he took a 10-play drive, went 64 yards, got down to the 32-yard line of the Cincinnati Bengals, gave Andre Smith a chance to redeem himself from earlier, like Shedeur Sanders alluded to, and he kicked a 49-yard game-winning walk-off field goal. And a lot of people will not give credit to Shedeur Sanders for marching them down the field when it mattered most. Shedeur Sanders proves that he's clutch when it matters. And just like Shedeur Sanders said earlier in the press conference, he said the opportunity, had that opportunity against the Buffalo Bills, and it didn't work out. But when he got back to it, he knew what he had to do, and he took the team down the field with 1 minute and 39 seconds left, two timeouts, and Shedeur Sanders came up legendary in that last 2-minute possession, and they won the ball game. And Shedeur Sanders has put back together 2 back-to-back victories against the Pittsburgh Steelers, which the Pittsburgh Steelers was fighting to win the AFC North in Cleveland, and Cleveland did not want that to happen. And Shedeur Sanders outplayed Aaron Rodgers, and today he outplayed Joe Burrows, if you ask me, because he got the victory. Because when we talked about what he did against Tennessee, everybody swept that under the rug. They didn't want to acknowledge that he threw for 363 yards, 3 throwing touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown. The only rookie in the quarterback era outside of Joe Burrows to do something like that as a rookie with 363 yards passing and over 3 touchdowns. But nobody wanted to talk about that. They didn't want to give him credit because they took the L to the Tennessee Titans. Now, where do they go from here? Like I've always said, build around Shedeur Sanders, get you an offensive line, get you a big play wide receiver, and go from there. It's a lot of decisions that need to be made by the ownership. What they're going to do with Kevin Stefanski? Are they going to fire Kevin Stefanski, bring a new coach in? What are they going to do with Andrew Berry? Jimmy Haslam got a lot of things that he needs to evaluate before he makes his decisions. And like I said, all the haters that wanted Shedeur Sanders to fail, Shedeur Sanders just proved all y'all haters wrong, that he is not going to fail, because he said that before. He's not going to fail. That's what y'all want him to do. Y'all want him to fail. But Shedeur Sanders came out on top, finished and capped off the season with a victory, going into the offseason on a high note. Let's see where Cleveland is going to go from here. But right now, the haters are going to be haters. They're in shambles. They don't have nothing else to talk about, and they're mad that Shedeur Sanders got the victory. And they mad that Shedeur Sanders did more with less. He had a 3-7 record with the Cleveland Browns, and Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel had a 2-10 record, and they had all starters with them, and Shedeur Sanders did not have that. I see everybody in the comment section, #salute. If you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, turn your post notifications on, join the channel, join the community. Oh yeah, just in case I forgot. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.